The council chamber of the Galactic Alliance was filled with tension. Thousands of species had gathered from every corner of the galaxy, each wearing their unique uniforms, robes, and symbols of power. Diplomats whispered among themselves, some pacing nervously, others staring at the massive viewports that looked out into space. The galaxy had waited for this moment for decades, a summit where old rivalries might finally end, where treaties might be forged that could change the future of countless worlds. And yet, the humans were missing. Every species knew of them. Humans were unpredictable, powerful, and feared. Their ships were massive, their weapons unmatched, and their strategies often baffled even the most experienced alien generals. But today, humans were supposed to arrive as observers, as diplomats. The council had expected them to appear quietly, to participate in discussions, to perhaps shake hands and leave. Instead, there was silence. The first warning came as a flicker on the main viewport. At first, it seemed like a glitch, a star winking in the darkness. But the flicker grew, resolving into shapes that no alien had ever seen before. Massive warships appeared at the edge of the system. They were enormous, black as void, their surfaces covered with weapons that glinted even through the distance. Sensors lit up with alarms, reading their power output, their speed, and their readiness for war. What are they doing?" a thin, green-skinned diplomat hissed. His 3 eyes darted between the sensors and the communications console. They were not supposed to be armed. They were supposed to be. "They are human dreadnoughts," another voice said, calm but tense. A monitor showed the ships moving closer, deliberately, with a slow, methodical precision that was terrifying. "All of them, fully armed. And they are coming without warning." The council chamber erupted in chaos. Some delegates demanded immediate attacks. Others pleaded for caution. The humans had not fired a single shot, but their very presence was a threat. Some whispered that this could be a trap, that humans never came without a plan. Others argued that maybe, just maybe, the humans had something important to say. High above the chamber, in the bridge of the largest dreadnought, a human commander watched the council's communications feed. He stood tall, calm, and unhurried. Around him, officers and technicians moved quickly, monitoring every system, every scan, every signal. Yet he said nothing, his eyes never leaving the viewport as the alien fleet scrambled. His hand rested lightly on the console, a gesture of command that radiated confidence. Humans had come prepared for war, but they did not intend to fight. Not yet. In the council chamber, panic rose. An elder from the Alathian cluster, a species with scales of silver and eyes like molten gold, banged her staff on the floor. "We cannot wait. They could destroy us all before the meeting even begins. Fire on them now." Before anyone could respond, a simple message appeared on every screen, every translation system instantly converting it into the appropriate language for each species. It was brief, clear, and chilling in its simplicity. "We are here for discussion." The chamber fell silent. Some delegates stared at the screens, unable to comprehend the calmness of the humans. How could beings capable of obliterating fleets with a single strike claim they came for diplomacy? Some laughed nervously, thinking it was a joke. Others whispered that it must be a trick. But the humans did not move aggressively. They held position, letting the aliens stew in fear and uncertainty. In the outer corridors of the council shipyards, spies and scouts reported strange readings. Human ships were scanning everything: fleets, planets, communication arrays. Every move was calculated, precise, but not violent. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said humans had discovered weaknesses in alien defenses. Others claimed they were looking for something, or someone. A murmur rose that humans were not just diplomats. They were hunters, explorers, and perhaps conquerors in disguise. Meanwhile, in the bridge of the human flagship, the commander finally spoke. His voice was calm, steady, almost casual. "Maintain formation. No unnecessary provocation. Let them come to their own conclusions." His second-in-command, a young officer, frowned. "Sir, they could attack at any moment. Should we prepare weapons?" The commander smiled faintly. "Weapons are ready. But our strength is not in firing first. It is in showing restraint. Fear is a tool. Let them feel it, and then let them decide." Back in the council chamber, debates raged. Some species wanted to send envoys immediately. Others demanded preemptive strikes. But even the most aggressive alien generals hesitated. The humans did not act like invaders. They acted like predators, powerful, patient, and certain of themselves. The uncertainty was worse than any attack could be. Hours passed, or maybe minutes, the Council could not tell. Time seemed to slow as the humans hovered at the edge of the system, waiting. Every sensor pinged with information, every diplomat whispered and plotted, and every alien heart raced with fear and anticipation. And then, quietly, a thought began to take hold among the delegates. Maybe humans were not here to destroy. Maybe they were here to change the galaxy entirely. But no one knew for sure. The human ships waited. Silent, massive, unmoving, and the galaxy held its breath. The alien council remained in chaos, unsure how to respond. Some fleets began to move nervously, aligning weapons and shields as if the human silence itself were a threat. Every alien species had a different idea of humans, but all agreed on one thing: they were dangerous. Some whispered that humans had conquered entire star systems alone. Others claimed humans could destroy planets with a single strike. On the council floor, debates grew heated. A tall, insect-like diplomat slammed his clawed hand on the table. "We cannot wait. They could destroy everything in minutes. We must fire." "No!" shouted a smaller, pale-skinned alien. Her voice was sharp, almost musical. "We do not know their intent. Attacking first would be madness. They may have come for peace." The council erupted into arguments. Some species wanted to flee. Some wanted to negotiate. And some were secretly communicating with human ships, trying to find a weakness. The tension was suffocating. Every eye in the room turned to the viewport, watching the massive human dreadnoughts floating silently in space. They were enormous, black, and deadly. Even the most battle-hardened generals felt a shiver run down their spines. High above, in the bridge of the human flagship, the commander observed the alien fleets carefully. His crew worked efficiently, scanning, analyzing, and reporting. No one panicked. The humans moved with calm precision. The commander did not speak unless necessary. He simply watched, waiting for the right moment to act, or to let events unfold. A young officer approached him, her hands trembling slightly as she glanced at the readings. "Sir, they are debating whether to attack. Some fleets are already powering weapons. Should we?" "No," the commander interrupted calmly. "Weapons are ready. Our presence is the message. Let them decide for themselves. Fear is a stronger tool than aggression." Back in the council chamber, the aliens continued their panic. Rumors spread rapidly. Humans had scanned entire fleets, measured weapon output, and even calculated defensive weaknesses. Some whispered that humans could destroy entire systems without even leaving their ships. Others feared humans had spies hidden among them already. The council finally agreed to send a small delegation to the humans. It was risky, but they needed answers. The delegation consisted of representatives from several major species: a massive reptilian general, a slim and graceful diplomat from a water world, and a smaller, cunning alien known for intelligence and deceit. They approached the communication console cautiously, unsure what the humans would say or do. The humans' message was simple, direct, and unexpected. "We wish to talk. No harm will come if you respond peacefully." The alien delegation hesitated. Could they trust this? The humans had the power to destroy them all in seconds, yet they spoke calmly. It was almost impossible to believe. Slowly, they agreed to respond, their voices trembling through the translation systems. Inside the human ships, the commander received the communication without reaction. "Prepare a landing party," he said quietly. "Keep it small. Keep it precise. Remember, they need to feel respect more than fear." The landing party assembled quickly. Humans moved with efficiency and purpose, their suits shining under the ship lights, their weapons carefully stowed. The aliens could see the humans were disciplined, confident, and unafraid. No human looked anxious. No human hesitated. It was unnerving. As the small human shuttle descended toward the Council's planet, the alien spies and scouts watched every move. Every sensor and camera recorded the humans' approach, but the humans made no aggressive maneuvers. Their landing was controlled, calculated, and respectful. Once the shuttle touched down, silence fell over the planet. Alien delegates watched from a distance as humans emerged. Tall, upright, and strong, they walked with purpose, their eyes scanning without threat. The council members could not hide their surprise. These beings, who had terrified the galaxy with their warships, now appeared calm, almost gentle. The human leader stepped forward, hands open and visible. His voice echoed clearly through the translation systems. "We come in peace. We are here to talk, to find common ground. We do not seek war, only understanding." Whispers filled the chamber. Some aliens began to relax, realizing perhaps the humans had not come to conquer. Others remained cautious, their hearts racing. How could a species with the power to destroy entire fleets speak so humbly? It was confusing, terrifying, and fascinating all at once. Back on the human flagship, the commander monitored every channel. He smiled faintly. The humans' presence, their calmness, and their restraint had already begun to sow doubt and curiosity among the aliens. They were not merely here to speak, they were here to change minds, and perhaps change the galaxy itself. The Alien Council, once filled with fear and anger, now faced a new problem: understanding these humans. Were they diplomats? Were they strategists? Or were they something entirely new, something the galaxy had never seen before? And as the humans waited, silent but confident, the galaxy realized one terrifying truth: humans were unlike any species it had ever known. The Council could only watch, uncertain, as the first contact unfolded. The Council had barely begun to understand the humans' presence when rumors began to spread. Every species had spies, and every spy had noticed the same strange behavior. The humans were scanning, recording, and calculating everything, but never in an aggressive way. Their warships moved slowly through the system, their sensors probing, their communications silent except for the message of peace. Some diplomats whispered in fear. "They are not here to talk," said a gray-skinned ambassador with long, spindly arms. "They are studying us, learning our weaknesses, preparing for war. Humans always have a hidden plan." Others disagreed. "No," a small, blue-eyed alien replied. "They could destroy us all in an instant, yet they do nothing. They came here knowing the risk. If they wanted war, we would already be ashes. Perhaps their plan is something else. Something we cannot understand yet." The Council became a storm of suspicion. Some species began reinforcing their defenses. Weapons were repositioned. Energy shields fumed with power, ready to fire at a moment's notice. The humans, still hovering at the edge of the system, watched silently, letting the fear grow. Deep inside the human flagship, the commander studied the alien communications. He did not rush, did not panic, did not demand immediate action. He had anticipated fear, mistrust, and rumors. This was exactly the reaction he wanted. Humans had power, yes, but power was meaningless if others could not see the discipline behind it. "Sir," a young officer spoke, her voice quiet but tense, "they suspect something. They think we came to spy, to prepare for war. Some fleets are moving closer to attack positions. Should we respond?" The commander shook his head slowly. "No," he said, calm as always. "Let them think what they want. Let them fear, let them guess. That is part of diplomacy. We are here to show restraint, not to fight. If we act, we teach them aggression. If we wait, we teach them control. Fear without action is stronger than fear with destruction." Meanwhile, alien spies continued their work. They had noticed patterns in the human scans. They recorded the way humans measured energy flows, analyzed fleet formations, and monitored planetary defenses. Some suspected that the humans had already chosen targets in case diplomacy failed. Others believed the humans were simply gathering information to understand the galaxy better. A secret council meeting was called among the most powerful alien factions. They gathered in a hidden chamber, far from sensors and cameras. "We cannot trust them," said a reptilian warlord, his tail curling angrily. "They come uninvited. Their ships are massive and deadly. Their technology surpasses ours. They are hunting something. Perhaps one of our worlds." "No," argued a smaller diplomat, her voice soft but urgent. "We have not seen a single act of aggression. They do not fire. They do not invade. If they wanted war, we would already be dead. Perhaps they are testing us. Testing our courage, our wisdom, or our willingness to unite. The debate went on for hours. Fear battled curiosity. Suspicion battled hope. Some aliens prepared for war. Others prepared to negotiate. The humans' presence was changing the galaxy without firing a single shot. Every action, every pause, every calm observation by the humans created tension and uncertainty. On the Council planet, the human small landing party walked through the Council halls. They moved carefully, observing, listening, and recording every detail. Their calm, deliberate steps unnerved the alien delegates. These were beings who could destroy entire fleets, yet they walked as if they were guests, not conquerors. The human leader addressed the gathered council members. "We understand your fear. It is natural. You do not know us, and you have seen only our power. But power alone does not define who we are. We came to observe, to listen, and to offer a chance for understanding. Nothing more, nothing less." Whispers swept through the chamber. Some diplomats relaxed slightly, realizing that the humans' words matched their actions. Others remained tense, unable to let go of the fear that had built for centuries. Humans were unlike any species the galaxy had ever encountered. They were disciplined, intelligent, and patient. They could have destroyed the council in moments, but they chose not to. Meanwhile, deep in space, alien fleets continued to maneuver. Some tested human defenses cautiously, sending small probes and observing reactions. Every test failed to provoke a human response beyond calm observation. Slowly, some alien commanders began to doubt their assumptions. Could it be that humans were here for something greater than war? Could it be that their purpose was not destruction, but preparation for something the galaxy had not yet seen? Back on the human flagship, the commander watched these shifts carefully. He allowed suspicion, fear, and debate to grow. It was part of a larger plan, one that the council could not yet understand. Humans had power, yes, but they also had vision. They were not here for conquest. They were here to prepare the galaxy for a truth far larger than any one species could face alone. And so, the council remained divided. Some saw humans as a threat, others as potential allies. The humans, silent, patient, and powerful, waited for the moment when the galaxy would begin to understand them. No one knew what that moment would bring. But everyone agreed on one thing: humans were not ordinary, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The air on the council planet was thick with tension. Every alien delegate, from the smallest to the largest, watched the human small landing party move through the streets of the capital city. Their armor and uniforms were diverse, but all carried a common air: confidence, discipline, and calm. Despite the size of their dreadnoughts in orbit, the humans on the ground walked lightly, with respect and precision. The council members whispered among themselves. "They do not even carry weapons openly," said a reptilian diplomat, his tail twitching nervously. "How can beings capable of destroying fleets behave so ordinary?" "They are dangerous because they are controlled," a Waterworld envoy replied. "Power without restraint is nothing. But power with patience, that is terrifying." The humans approached the council chamber, their steps measured, eyes observant but not threatening. Sensors recorded their every movement. Spies and scouts tried to predict their next action. But the humans did not rush, did not act nervously, did not show impatience. They simply walked as if they belonged, even in a room where no alien had ever expected them. Inside the council chamber, the delegates had gathered, some reluctantly. The humans entered without announcement, yet all eyes turned naturally toward them. They were tall, upright, and strong, their expressions calm. There was no fear in their eyes, no arrogance, no malice. Only focus and quiet strength. The human leader stepped forward, hands open and visible. His voice carried clearly, translated into every alien language automatically. "We understand your fear," he began. "You do not know us. You have seen our ships and our strength. That power is not here to intimidate. We are here to talk, to share knowledge, and to seek understanding." Murmurs filled the chamber. Some aliens relaxed slightly, their claws and tails easing. Others remained cautious, unsure if these words were true or a clever trap. Humans were unpredictable, and predictability was the only way most species understood trust. The reptilian general who had demanded war in secret could not hide his suspicion. "You say you come in peace," he growled. "Yet your ships are weapons. Your fleets could annihilate us in minutes. How do we know this is not a lie?" The human leader did not flinch. "You do not need to take our word. Watch what we do, not what we say. Observe our actions. We have arrived with power, yet we have not used it. That is the proof you seek. We have not attacked, we have not interfered, we have only come to talk." Some delegates shifted uneasily in their seats. They had never experienced such confidence, such restraint. The humans could destroy their world and leave without a trace, yet they chose not to. The concept was alien. The message was clear. Humans were dangerous, yes, but their danger came not from recklessness, but from discipline, intelligence, and controlled power. A smaller alien, clever and cautious, stepped forward. "If you do not intend war, then what is your purpose? Why come now uninvited to our council?" The human leader's eyes scanned the chamber. Calm, steady, unyielding. "Our purpose is simple. The galaxy faces threats that no one species can face alone. We came to observe, to understand, and to offer knowledge. To share a vision of unity against dangers that would destroy all of us if we remain divided. That is why we are here." Whispers ran through the delegates. Some doubted the words. Some hoped they were true. The humans spoke not as conquerors, not as diplomats seeking advantage, but as beings who understood the galaxy on a scale the council could barely comprehend. One of the alien spies spoke quietly to the reptilian general. "Perhaps they are telling the truth. Perhaps their fleets, their power, is not for conquest. Perhaps it is for preparation, for protection." The general narrowed his eyes. "Or perhaps it is a trap. Humans are clever. They wait. They plan. Every action is calculated. We must remain cautious." The human leader smiled slightly, as if aware of the debate. "Caution is wise. But fear without reason leads to mistakes. You have seen our ships. You have observed our actions. Judge us by what we do, not by what you imagine we might do." The council chamber was silent for a moment. The humans' calm confidence had shifted the atmosphere. Fear was still present, yes, but curiosity and cautious respect had begun to grow. The delegates realized that humans were unlike any species they had ever met. They were powerful, intelligent, and disciplined. They were a force to be reckoned with, not because of their weapons alone, but because of the mind and control behind them. Outside, the humans waited patiently, ready to answer questions, to listen, and to explain. The council had expected a fleet, a display of power, perhaps even a threat. Instead, they found beings who combined overwhelming strength with extraordinary self-control. And as the council began to speak, asking questions, expressing doubts, and seeking clarity, one thing became clear: the humans were not ordinary. They had arrived to change the galaxy, and their true intentions would only become clear when the council listened carefully, and perhaps when the aliens were ready to trust them. But trust would not come easily. Suspicion ran deep, and centuries of conflict had left scars that could not be erased overnight. Humans would need patience, and patience, above all else, was their greatest weapon. The council waited, tense, uncertain, and aware that history was being written before their eyes. Not everyone in the council believed the humans' words. In the far reaches of the galaxy, some warlords had already made their decisions. They could not trust a species capable of destroying entire fleets without effort. To them, the humans' calmness was arrogance, and their patience a dangerous sign of hidden plans. A massive reptilian warlord activated his fleet's weapon systems. His ships bristled with energy cannons, missiles, and shields that had never been tested against anything like human dreadnoughts. "They claim peace," he growled to his commanders. "I will test them. Let us see if their words hold when provoked." Small attack formations were dispatched toward the human fleet. Probes and drones entered human sensor ranges. While the warlord's flagship moved aggressively, its weapons powered and aimed. Every decision was deliberate, every move a challenge. On the bridge of the human flagship, the commander observed quietly. Sensors lit up with information about approaching ships, weapons charged and targeting. Yet he did not move hastily. He did not panic. He simply studied the positions, the speed, and the intent of every hostile vessel. "Sir," a young officer said, her voice tense, "they are moving into attack range. They may fire any moment. What should we do?" The commander's calm voice echoed. "Prepare defenses. Keep weapons ready. But do not fire unless they act first. Our strength is not in reaction. It is in restraint. Let them reveal themselves. Let them make the first mistake." The alien warlord sent a message to the humans. A direct challenge. "Step aside or be destroyed. You are trespassing in the territory of the fiercest fleet in this sector. Answer now." The human commander's response was simple, precise. "We do not seek war. Do not make one where none exists." The warlord's forces hesitated, confused. How could beings capable of annihilation speak with such calm? Was it confidence? Madness? Fear began to creep into the alien ranks. Humans had not moved aggressively, yet every ship's sensors screamed with their potential. Every captain felt the danger, and every officer wondered if this calm was the mask of destruction. Then the aliens tested the humans further. Small energy bursts, aimed to intimidate, were fired near human dreadnoughts. Shields activated, but not in panic. The human fleet adjusted calmly, forming defensive patterns that protected civilian ships and even the alien fleet itself. They moved to avoid unnecessary damage, not to retaliate. The warlord's fleet grew frustrated. They do not fight back. How can they be so powerful and yet do nothing? On the human bridge, the commander spoke softly. "Strength without control is weakness. We have the power to destroy, but restraint defines us. Let them see discipline, not chaos." Aboard the Council planet, delegates watched anxiously. Their sensors showed alien fleets moving dangerously close to humans, yet nothing happened. No shots fired, no strikes launched. The humans remained calm, their presence both a threat and a lesson. Fear mixed with awe as they realized humans did not need to attack to dominate a situation. Some aliens began to question their assumptions. "Perhaps we misjudged them," whispered one envoy. "They have power, yes, but they use it differently. They teach, not destroy. Maybe this is their way of proving they are worthy of trust." Others were less convinced. "No species is so restrained by nature," said a veteran warlord. "They wait, they plan. Patience hides their true intent. We must stay alert." Back in the council chamber, the humans' landing party observed from afar. Their mission was not conquest, not intimidation. It was observation, understanding, and demonstration of restraint. Every move was calculated to show discipline, not to provoke unnecessary conflict. The humans wanted the galaxy to see that true power lay in control, not in fear alone. Hours passed. Probes returned, ships maneuvered, and yet no attack came from the human side. Slowly, some alien commanders began to lower shields slightly, curious to understand these humans. They had tested humans' patience, and humans had passed. Not by words, not by promises, but by action. The human commander finally spoke to his crew. "They will test again in some way. Expect it. Our strength is our restraint, our patience, and our discipline. Every action we take teaches more than any weapon. Remember this." The aliens, watching and waiting, realized something terrifying. Humans could destroy them, yes, but that was not their intention. Their restraint was not weakness. It was strategy. Every pause, every calculated inaction, demonstrated confidence far beyond the galaxy's usual understanding. By the end of the day, the warlord's fleet withdrew slightly, confused, frustrated, and cautious. Humans had not fired a single shot, yet they had controlled the situation completely. Fear and respect began to replace anger and suspicion in some alien minds. The Council, still observing, understood a profound truth. Humans were not only strong, they were disciplined, patient, and unpredictable. They could be allies, or they could be feared in ways the galaxy had never seen. And as night fell across the Council planet, the humans remained vigilant, silent, and unyielding. Their dreadnoughts floated in orbit like dark sentinels, a reminder that real power was not in aggression, but in knowing when to act, and when to wait. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Humans did not need to fight to command respect. The council chamber had grown quiet, though tension still lingered like a heavy fog. Aliens whispered, debated, and watched the humans closely. They had seen restraint, discipline, and incredible power, but still, doubt lingered. What had brought humans here? Why now? The human landing party entered the chamber once more, this time moving with deliberate calm. The council delegates stiffened, expecting another test, another challenge. But the human leader did not carry weapons, and his expression remained calm. There was no threat in his stance, no arrogance in his voice, only purpose. "We have remained silent for long enough," he said, his tone steady. "You have seen our power. You have felt our restraint. But there is a greater reason we are here, one that affects every species in this galaxy, including yours." A murmur ran through the chamber. Some delegates leaned forward, curious, others braced themselves, fearful of what might come next. Humans had remained calm until now. What could they possibly reveal? The human leader continued. "For centuries, you have fought among yourselves, claimed territory, and prepared for war. But there is a threat approaching, a force larger, stronger, and more dangerous than any of us alone can face. If we remain divided, all will be lost." The chamber fell silent. Some aliens exchanged nervous glances. Ancient legends spoke of beings from beyond the known galaxy, but none had seen them in centuries. Could humans really be warning of something so massive, so terrifying? "We have detected it," the human leader said. "Vast fleets of unknown origin, moving toward the core of our galaxy. They will not negotiate. They will not pause. They will destroy all that stands in their path. We came to prepare, to observe, and to offer knowledge that could save countless worlds. But we cannot do it alone." An elder diplomat, her skin like polished silver, spoke hesitantly. "Why come now? Why show power if not to conquer?" The human leader's eyes were steady, unwavering. "We show power not to intimidate, but to demonstrate capability. To unite the galaxy, one must first prove strength and restraint. Fear alone does not prevent destruction. Understanding and preparation do. That is why we arrived in Dreadnoughts, but did not attack. That is why we stand here openly, unarmed, offering knowledge instead of conquest." The council chamber buzzed with whispers. Some species began to see the humans in a new light. These were not conquerors. These were strategists, visionaries, and protectors. Yet suspicion lingered. Could this be another trick? The human leader raised his hand, signaling calm. "We bring evidence," he said. Holographic projections appeared in the chamber, displaying massive fleets of unknown ships moving through uncharted space. Their weapons were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. The images showed destruction on a planetary scale, worlds reduced to ashes, systems left barren. Gasps echoed throughout the chamber. Even the most hardened warlords felt a chill. The humans' warning was not a threat. It was a reality. The council realized that their squabbles, their mistrust, and their hesitation had left them unprepared for the coming danger. "Together, we can survive," the human leader continued. "Separate, we fall. We did not come to conquer. We came to unite. We came to show you that power must be guided by discipline and cooperation, or it is meaningless. We offer alliance, strategy, and protection. But the choice is yours." Some alien factions, once aggressive and hostile, began to nod slowly. Their eyes, once filled with fear, now held respect and hope. Humans had not just arrived, they had challenged assumptions, taught lessons, and revealed a danger that could unite enemies into allies. Others remained cautious. One warlord's tail lashed nervously. "How can we trust them? They are powerful beyond measure. Even if this threat exists, how do we know humans will not betray us?" The human leader's gaze was calm, but firm. "Trust must be earned, and we are ready to earn it. Watch our actions, not just our words. Stand with us and you may survive. Stand against us, and you will be crushed by a force greater than any of you can imagine." The chamber was silent again. The humans had spoken plainly, directly, without arrogance or deceit. They had revealed the threat, offered guidance, and demanded cooperation. For the first time in centuries, the galaxy seemed united in fear and in hope. Outside, the Dreadnoughts remained in orbit, a quiet reminder of human strength. They had come prepared for war, yes, but war had not been their choice. They had chosen patience, strategy, and diplomacy. The Council now understood that humans were not just warriors, they were teachers, protectors, and leaders. And as the alien delegates began tentative discussions of alliance, one undeniable truth settled over the galaxy. Humans had arrived not to conquer, but to save. The real challenge, the Council realized, was only beginning. The unknown threat moved closer, and the galaxy would need every ounce of discipline, intelligence, and courage that humans, and their new allies, could provide. The Council chamber was quieter than it had been for centuries. Delegates from countless species sat in tense silence, absorbing the humans' revelations. The holographic images of the approaching fleets lingered in the air, a silent warning that the galaxy's survival depended on cooperation. Fear and awe battled within every delegate. The human leader stepped forward again, calm, unwavering. "The threat is real," he said. "Your worlds, your fleets, your people, they will not survive divided. We offer guidance, strategy, and the chance to unite. Together, we can stand against the coming danger. Alone you will fall." Murmurs filled the chamber. Some species began to discuss alliances with each other, cautiously forming plans. Others still hesitated, wary of humans and each other. But the message had sunk in. The galaxy faced an enemy unlike any it had ever known, and only unity could prevent annihilation. Outside, human dreadnoughts floated silently in orbit, massive and still. Their presence reminded the Council of the power behind the words. They had come prepared for war, yes, but chose diplomacy instead. Their restraint was a lesson in itself. Fear mingled with respect as the delegates realized humans were not ordinary. They were leaders in every sense of the word. In a private chamber, the leaders of the most powerful species debated. "Can we trust them?" The reptilian warlord hissed. "Their fleets are massive. They could destroy us if they wished. Why help?" A smaller, wiser diplomat replied, "They have shown us restraint. They have chosen patience and understanding over violence. That is not weakness, it is intelligence. Perhaps they truly wish to unite us for the good of all." Meanwhile, the human commander prepared his reports. His crew worked quickly, relaying information about alien fleets, resources, and planetary defenses. Every piece of data was shared openly, building trust through transparency. Humans did not hide their power. They demonstrated their discipline and strategy. Back in the Council chamber, the discussion shifted from suspicion to planning. Alien leaders began proposing joint operations, coordinated patrols, and shared defenses. Slowly, a fragile alliance started to take shape. The humans did not demand control, but their presence naturally guided the discussions. Their strategy, calm authority, and foresight were undeniable. A young alien diplomat whispered to her neighbor, "I never thought I would say this, but perhaps these humans are what we need. If anyone can unite us, it is them." The human leader nodded slightly, acknowledging the sentiment without pride. Leadership, he knew, was not about ego. It was about action, guidance, and the willingness to bear responsibility when others could not. As the Council agreed on preliminary plans for joint defense, sensors on the human ships detected faint anomalies in distant space. The approaching fleet had moved closer, faster than anyone had anticipated. Their numbers were growing, their weapons even more devastating than the initial projections. The galaxy's danger was real and imminent. The humans relayed the information immediately, ensuring every delegate understood the urgency. Panic threatened to rise, but the humans' calm presence kept it at bay. "We must act now," the human leader said. "Delay will cost worlds. Unity is no longer optional. It is survival." The alien fleets began mobilizing, coordinating with humans for the first time. Ships of species that had fought each other for centuries now flew side by side, following human tactical guidance. Communication lines opened, sharing knowledge, strategy, and information that would have been unthinkable just hours before. The Council watched from the planet, seeing fleets align in formation, humans and aliens together for the first time. Fear still lingered, but hope began to take root. The galaxy, for the first time in generations, had a chance. And yet, even as preparations continued, a shadow moved on the edge of known space. The approaching fleets were massive, silent, and unyielding. No one knew their true numbers, their capabilities, or their intentions beyond destruction. Only one fact was certain. When they arrived, Nothing in the galaxy would remain unchanged. The human leader observed from the bridge of his flagship. His expression was calm, almost serene. "They are coming," he said softly. "And we will be ready. But the battle ahead will test every species, every alliance, and every choice we have made. The galaxy will see what humans have always known. Strength is nothing without wisdom, and power is meaningless without discipline." In the council chamber, delegates exchanged nervous glances. Humans had arrived quietly, with power beyond imagination, and had shifted the course of the galaxy in hours. They had taught fear, commanded respect, and inspired hope. But the coming challenge would show whether all that preparation could save them. The Dreadnoughts remained in orbit, massive, silent, and unyielding. They were a warning, a promise, and a guide. The humans' presence had changed everything, and the galaxy now had to rise to meet the threat together. The stars shimmered, distant and cold. Somewhere beyond known space, the enemy fleet moved closer. The first battle was yet to come, but the stage was set. And humans, patient, disciplined, and unyielding, would lead the charge. The galaxy had waited long for its reckoning. And it had arrived.